Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I wanted to take a look at a gun that I have quickly fallen in love with in Destiny, and that is the Suros Regime. This could possibly be one of the best PvP assault rifles right now, and while there are others that can compete with it, it is not blatantly overpowered. As long as you understand its strengths and weaknesses, which we'll get to here in a second, and as long as your accuracy is somewhat solid, you can dominate the competition. And so for today, I wanted to kind of go over why I love this gun so much, and if you ever find this in a raid, or you ever find this on Xur that you can purchase with the strange coins, you might want to pick it up or hold on to this thing for quite some time. And so the first thing that you need to know about the Suros is that it has a very slow rounds per minute. The plus side of this, though, is that it hits like a truck. You guys are going to notice throughout today's video that it does around 43 damage per bullet when I'm getting a headshot. That's almost as much as scout rifles in this game. And so the best way that I can describe this bad boy is a scout rifle but in automatic form. It may not have the long range precision, it may not be as accurate as a scout rifle at a distance, but if you like the idea of having a gun that's going to do really well at medium to long range combat, but you also like the idea of having that in automatic form, the Suros might be the perfect weapon for you. The downside of this, though, is that with that slower RPM, you are going to struggle a little bit within close encounter combat unless you're nailing headshot after headshot after headshot and you're just amazing with your accuracy. You look at pretty much every other competitive shooter out there, it doesn't matter if it's Battlefield, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, high RPM guns are usually king within close encounter combat. They have a lot of recoil, so they're going to suck at long distance, but that recoil doesn't mean a whole lot if the person is 10 feet in front of you and they're this huge target that isn't going to take a whole lot of skill or accuracy to make sure that plenty of your bullets are going to hit. Not only that, but you could also make the argument that you don't even need to be as precise with those guns because so many bullets are flying down range that even if you miss one or two, it's not going to mean the difference between life or death. You cannot say the same thing about the Suros. Like, you miss one or two shots and you're up close to someone, you're probably not going to come out of that firefight alive. And so while this definitely does not mean that you are going to just fall over dead if someone rounds the corner on you, it's going to take some practice. Like, you are going to need to make sure that your accuracy is dead on and you are going for those headshots, because if you're not, it's going to be quite challenging to be successful with this weapon. That being said, though, one of the best attributes of this gun, and I think one of the reasons why so many people are in love with it right now, is that it has almost no recoil at all. Here, for example, I'm just shooting at a random wall. I'm not trying to compensate for the recoil. I'm just holding down the trigger and letting the weapon do its thing. And as you can see, there's hardly any kick here. And so while, yes, you need to get headshots to come out of firefights alive, you really just have to aim for the enemy's head, hold down the trigger, maybe compensate a little bit for that vertical recoil, but the weapon is almost going to do all the work for you. That is why the Suros is amazing. Like, that is the reason why people are in love with this gun right now, because while it does take some getting used to, and you are going to have a slightly different playstyle compared to the other assault rifles in the game, once you master that playstyle, and then once you move around the map in the appropriate fashion, getting headshots is an easy task, and like I said, you can just dominate the competition. Another thing that's worth mentioning is that it also comes with some really cool attributes when you unlock all of its abilities. If you're not aware, for PvP, you unlock or start upgrading a weapon's damage, it's going to have no influence on the battlefield. For PvE, it does, absolutely, because that would be kind of silly, but at least for PvP, because everything has been normalized, you're not going to see any difference in your damage at all. Like, that's just the way that the system works. But some of the abilities and some of the attributes do have an impact, and the one that is the most interesting here is called Suros Regime, which is what the weapon is named after. And the way that it works is that the bottom half of each magazine deals bonus damage and has a chance to return health when dealing damage. Sounds incredible, and in some circumstances it absolutely is. And so the way it works is pretty much how it describes. The bottom half of your magazine is going to do more damage. The problem that I found with this, though, is that it only seemed to be the last couple of bullets for when I was actually in PvP. Like, I would get my magazine down to 10 bullets. I should have mentioned this before. It only has 33 rounds in a magazine, so I got it down to like 8 to 10 bullets, and then I got a couple of headshots on an enemy, and only like the last 3 in the magazine seemed to have an impact. It really bumped up the damage. It went to like 50. Well, I think I saw one that was at like 65 damage per shot. Really bumped it up there, and in some circumstances, that is absolutely going to save your life. Like, that is a lot of damage going down range, but I was hoping for a little bit more. Like, I was kind of hoping that it would be a little bit more consistent, and at least from what I've gathered from PvE and PvP, it seems to be sort of a slow ramp up, where at maybe like 13 bullets in or 13 bullets down, then it will slightly do a little bit more damage, a little bit more, and then the last couple of bullets, it really ramps up, and that's where you're going to see the most impact there. The health component of the gun, though, is top-notch. The way it works is not the bottom half, like I assumed, where basically any bullet that you shoot at an enemy has a chance to instantly start to regenerate your health. So here's the best example. I'm shooting at this individual, I kill him, I get down to like 20% health, he almost got me, but then my last bullet triggers this health regeneration, and it not only regenerates, I'm assuming, my shield, but also my health, and in half a second, I'm already back to full health. This is awesome. Like, if you're in a tight spot and you know a lot of enemies are around you, but you kill one guy that took you down to 20% health, which normally the next guy would have been able to spank you and slap you around, you're back to full health in just under a second, and he rounds the corner expecting it to be an easy kill. You're right there with your Suros, you nail him in the head, and then you come at that firefight alive. It doesn't happen very often. I don't know the percentages. It would be awesome if they would actually include these stats on the gun. This is one thing that I think Bungie could really improve upon. Like, there are a lot of stats in this game that just don't mean anything. Like, what does a full stability bar on the Suros mean? Like, what does the recoil bar mean at all? There needs to be a little bit better explanation. What I do know, though, is that it has saved my life. It's amazing when it happens, especially when it allows you to continue on with your kill streak, and it's just a really cool attribute for this weapon. And so overall, the Suros Regime is a dominant medium to long range assault rifle. You are going to have some difficulties when people get right up in your grill with a higher RPM weapon, or if they're using a shotgun, for example, but if you are playing smart and you're moving around the map appropriately and you're trying to get into those medium range engagements, or if you're just compensating it with a fusion rifle or a shotgun, you are going to have a lot of fun in player versus player combat. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed my little review of the Suros Regime. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of the gun. I know a lot of people picked it up last weekend because it was on sale for strange coins, so let me know down below. Until tomorrow, have a good one, and take it easy.